My name is Tylluan. I'm a solitary pagan witch, an author and the founder of the Wolf and Howl Press. And this evening's little talk, it's actually the evening of a very hot day in July. This evening's little talk is about what is a witch, because it's something we're often asked. And although witchcraft is a very small segment of paganism, I always consider myself to be a witch. I always describe myself as a solitary pagan witch. And I thought I'd try and explain a little bit about what being a witch means to me. So, what is a witch? I think the first error that we sometimes come across is when people believe that if you are a witch, you are also a Wiccan. Now, Wicca is a very distinct branch of paganism. That noise is my fridge going on. Wicca is a very distinct branch of paganism, and you can be a witch and a Wiccan, but you can also be a witch and a pagan instead, or a witch and all sorts of other things, I'm sure. I always describe myself as a solitary pagan witch because I am a solitary. I don't practice in a group, and I never have. I consider myself pagan rather than anything else. And I'm a witch because I practice witchcraft. But what is a witch? Well, to me, the whole point about being a witch is not just about doing spells. It's not about having an ornate book of shadows. It's not about wearing a tall pointy hat. For me, being a witch and being a pagan are very closely bound together. I honour the earth. I believe that the earth is sentient, that it's a living being. When we harm the earth, we are harming something we should not be harming. I believe that the purpose of being a witch, and I think this perhaps is one of the most important things for me, the purpose of being a witch, in my case, is to try to become wise. And wise woman and cunning man, they were names often given to those who practiced what we believe was witchcraft or some kind of traditional folk magic. Why a wise woman and a cunning man? Well, a wise woman, obviously you become wise in certain aspects. There are certain things for everybody that will call you. You may become very wise in the history of your area, local history, natural history, the story of the landscape. You may become wise in the lore of herbs and herbalism. You may become wise in matters of the stars and the moon. The whole idea is to try to grow wisdom, and best of all, to learn how to use it, because, as somebody said once, there is wisdom and there is knowledge, and the difference between the two is compassion. I'm sure we've all heard of the intelligent idiot who knows everything but has no clue how to put it to any good use at all. With regard to the cunning man, cunning is a word that nowadays we tend to think of as meaning crafty, sly, but actually cunning years ago meant somebody who was versed in matters magical. They had insight. They were cunning because they had insight. They knew things. They knew many things. You even find in the Odyssey, written by Homer, you find Odysseus is described as a cunning man, the cunning Odysseus. Some translations give it as crafty as well. The idea is there that Odysseus knew things, and of course he did. He had a lot of contact with sorcerers and people like Circe, and he learned many things that normal people did not learn. So for me, I would say the first step, and I hope I come back and do some more of these, the first step, if we ask what is a witch, the first step must be someone who is in the process of acquiring knowledge. We are all learning. We are all trying very hard to know more about our path, to know more about the things that draw us in, that pull us towards them. And I was talking about this the other day to Mr. Penry, and we were discussing what is being enlightened. What does it mean for someone to be enlightened? And he said something very interesting. He said he thought that being enlightened meant learning to ask questions, realising that there were questions that needed asking, and not simply taking what was given to us at face value. And you know, I think that's an incredibly wise idea. We have to learn to ask questions. All my life, I have always got myself into trouble and being told, you ask too many questions. Yes, I do. But they're questions that require an answer. Otherwise, I wouldn't be asking them. I don't just ask them for fun. If I ask a question, it's because I really want to know the answer. And of course, we mustn't just ask questions. We must listen to the answers. And we must listen until the answer has finished before asking the next one. It's another very important thing to learn as we are on this path. So I'll leave you with that now. It's a very short little talk, but lots of things to think about there. And we'll come back to it again and discuss some more one of these days. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.